Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. It's been a while since I've been sitting in front of the camera and talking about football, and it's been a while since football's been on, but after a few months break with weird and unprecedented times, football now is coming back, and Norwich City played in a recent friendly against Tottenham. Tottenham 1, Norwich City 2. Norwich City win the last friendly, and their only friendly they've played before the Premier League starts, Friday, 6 o'clock, when Norwich City play Southampton. Norwich City beat Tottenham 2-1 in a friendly at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Lamela scored early on, but then two late goals from Drmic and Vrancic meant that Norwich City won the friendly. In this video I'm going to be discussing the game and 5 things we learned from the Tottenham versus Norwich City friendly. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. How are you feeling as we go into the new well, not the new season, as we go back into the 2019-2020 season? It's certainly going to feel bizarre, isn't it? But I'm really looking forward to it, and let's hope Norwich City can pull off the great escape. It's not going to be the same without the fans, though, of course, but you know, it's better than nothing, and let's hope Norwich City can put a few smiles on our faces when in the last few months, you know, it's been tricky for some people. One of the things we learned from this game is just how important Mario Vrancic, I think, could potentially be from now to the end of the season. Mario Vrancic, like a lot of the Norwich City players, has been someone who's had a lot of injury problems, but the free kick he scores in the last minute of this game is absolutely sublime. We know Mario Vrancic is incredible with free kicks. We've seen it against Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday last season, but this free kick is absolutely sensational. It's all over Twitter. It'll be on the highlights, I'm sure they'll post later on. An absolutely fantastic free kick. And Norwich City have been poor with set pieces this season. You look at some of the teams like Newcastle who utilise set pieces. We haven't really been able to do that. But Mario Vrancic from now to the end of the season is going to be absolutely critical in my opinion. And he's someone who has to play. Mario Vrancic, when he first came at Norwich, he was lightweight, he was lethargic, and he didn't really look like a championship footballer, but for me, he's one of the most talented footballers I've seen at Norwich City Football Club. I honestly mean that. I'm a massive fan of Mario Vrancic. His technical ability is incredible, and I think he could potentially have a big part to play from now to the end of the season. So for me, if Norwich City want to get out of this hole that they're in, start Mario Vrancic, and you know, I think he can produce moments of magic as we saw last season in the Championship, and glimpses when he has played this season. Yeah, an absolutely fantastic footballer. The second thing we learned, and you know, I don't want to particularly bring the mood down, is that it is just a friendly. This game was comprised of 4 30-minute quarters, so a 120-minute game. Tottenham Hotspur did have a lot of youngsters out on the pitch, particularly for that final quarter of the game. So when Drmic and Mario Vrancic scored those late goals, it was against the youngsters. So look, you can look at it one hand and say, you know, as I said, it was a 120-minute game, and Tottenham had a lot of youngsters out on the pitch, but on the other hand, Tottenham did have players like Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, all their best players playing, and when Norwich City did beat them in the FA Cup, which certainly seems like a long time ago, obviously players like Harry Kane were injured. So, you know, Norwich City have come and beaten a really good Tottenham team with a lot of their best players playing, and of course this is the last friendly before we play against Southampton on the Friday night, so it's not like particularly, you know, when you look at the pre-season and you have games in Germany, for instance, and you know you still have a month before the actual season plays. It's not like that. We've only got a week, so you can look at it both ways. You can look at it and say, well, yes, it was only a friendly and a 120-minute game, but you can look at it and say, you know, Tottenham had all their best players out, and it is only a week to the Premier League start. So to get a result like that and to play some good football and to have all our players all fit is really promising and exciting. And on that note, Tim Closer is fit. The third thing we learned from this game, in my opinion, is that Tim Closer could have a big part to play for Norwich from now to the end of the season. Tim Closer's had a lot of injuries throughout his whole time at Norwich City career. I think Tim Closer could have become a real almost club legend in my opinion. That's not me over exaggerating. I think he's got so much quality, and it was a great signing from Wolfsburg, but he's had a lot of injuries which has plagued his career, but he's back now and he could have a big part to play. He said it was positive for him, and it's going to be really interesting to see whether Norwich City play 5 at the back and whether Closer comes back in the team. But you know, we've got a really good defender back, and he could have a really important part to say with his leadership and his physicality, which we lacked. Another thing we learned, Josh Martin, perhaps a name for the future. Norwich City love to bring through the academy players. We've already seen Max, Jamal, Ben, Todd, Adam started to come in the team, and the next academy player could be Josh Martin. And no, you don't want to particularly big up these youngsters too much and, you know, put a lot of pressure on them, but Josh Martin looks like a really exciting player. He played his part in this Tottenham friendly and got the assist for Drmic's goal. This is a winger who's very quick, has a lot of trickery, and someone who could be really exciting. I think if Norwich City go down to the Championship, Josh Martin could feature in the Championship. But yes, Josh Martin, he could potentially make some Premier League appearances. Norwich City are going to have 9 players on the bench. All the Premier League teams are going to have 9 players on the bench, and Josh Martin, as an attacking player, could potentially be one of those players and could be a player who features in the Premier League. But no, he's a youngster with a lot of trickery, and he's one to keep an eye on. And finally, the last thing we learned from this game is, there's 3 things certain in life: death, taxes, and Josip Drmic scoring at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Josip Drmic, like so many players this season, has had injuries, and Norwich City, when they got promoted from the Championship, we didn't really have too many injuries, particularly to the key players. This season we've had, and Drmic was out for 11 games, I do believe. Had a lot of injuries kind of throughout the season. I think he's missed around 90 days of football. But whenever he's played, Drmic has looked okay. He scored obviously in the FA Cup, although he tried his best to miss. And he scored in this friendly. And whenever he has played, in the FA Cup round against Burnley, he always seems to get goals. And this is a Swiss international who's not just good at football, but an amazing rapper as well. If you haven't heard his new single, Cinderella, go check it out. It's a bizarre music video, but he can play football quite well, and he can sing as well. But no, in all seriousness, Josip Drmic, I think, is a good backup option, and it's really important he's fit and raring to go. And if Norwich City are struggling with 20-30 minutes of a game to go, Josip Drmic can come on and be an impact sub. I think he looks good. I think he's someone who knows where the back of the net is, has had experience, and could play a real part. But yeah, from this friendly, I think we can be excited. Obviously, it's just a friendly, and it was a 120-minute game, and a lot of youngsters played. But on the other hand, a lot of the Norwich City players are now fit, and to win against Tottenham is really important. And winning, no matter even if it's in a friendly, winning breeds confidence, as we saw in the Championship. So I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to seeing the Premier League and Norwich City resume on the Friday night. I think Norwich City are in a good position coming off the back of this friendly, and obviously very few injuries as well. I can't wait for the football to be back. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Tottenham 1, Norwich City 2, an early goal from Lamela, but Josip Drmic and Vrancic scored to give Norwich the win in the friendly, and hopefully some confidence as Norwich City look for the great escape. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.